Hey gamers, with the first conference of E3 just over 24 hours away, I wanted to make this video just to preview what I predict we'll see at E3, what I'd like to see at E3, and also what I'd love to see at E3 but think's probably unlikely to happen. And with the major companies, Xbox, Nintendo, and Sony, I'm also going to do a bonus hardware prediction that is probably quite unlikely, or could be very likely depending on how I rate it. Over the last few years, Microsoft has centered their E3 announcements around hardware rather than games. So last year was, of course, the Xbox One X. The year before that was different varieties of the Xbox One. The Xbox One S, I think, was announced then. So with the Xbox One X being out last year and then just them announcing a slight price drop in the Xbox One X pricing this year, I expect this year to be a lot more about the games coming forward, and especially first-party games. Now, if we look at what we expect to see from Microsoft, of course there's going to be some Gears of War in there. But I'm really hopeful, and I kind of expect them to release a Forza Horizon 4. They've done that almost every year without fail. It's either been Motorsport or Horizon, and of course Motorsport 7 was last year, so I expect it to be Horizon 4 this year. And I think that's a really quite an obvious thing that they're going to reveal this year. What I'd want them to also reveal or announce is a Halo 6. I think Halo 5 is about 4 years old now, and with the renewed vigour in the FPS genre of games, with obviously with PUBG, Fortnite, Call of Duty, I especially think that they'll do or I want them to do a Halo 6 announcement, and maybe we might see a bit more of a Battle Royale type Halo 6. What I'd love to see, and I think it's quite unlikely, but there have been some very strong rumours this year of them bringing back a Fable. Now, I was bitterly disappointed when they closed Lionhead Studios a couple of years ago, as Fable's been one of my favourite RPG series that's been produced. So hopefully they will reveal that. Now, I don't think it's hugely likely, but with the strong rumours, they may address them. So I think there's a slight chance that they could reveal a Fable RPG to be released, I imagine, next year. And as a bonus, I said they probably won't concentrate too much on hardware, but we like to dream. And with the Xbox One X, there's not a lot of improvement other than the games looking better. So what I'd really like to, I've been saying this for a couple of years, Microsoft have been working quite a lot on bringing together the Windows 10 properties with Xbox. So people that can play PC games on an Xbox and vice versa. They have talked recently, Phil Spence last year spoke about mouse and keyboard support maybe becoming a reality. What I'd really like to see is some Steam support. Now, Steam have tried to push their games more into the living room with things like the Steam Box and more recently Steam Link on your Android or iPhone. I don't think we're massively far away from maybe Xbox making a move for Steam and saying, look, we'll put your library of games onto our Xbox. And I mean, that would be absolutely awesome. I do think it's very unlikely, but if they do announce it, you did hear it here first. So Nintendo have been smashing E3 the last couple of years. Obviously, the announcement of the Switch a couple of years ago to last year's announcing Mario Odyssey, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battles, FIFA 19 and other third-party games, and of course the teasers for Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon. So feelings are very, very high with Nintendo at the moment. Now, most of their big announcements, I think, will be saved for the games that they're due to come out in the next 6 to 7 months. So I'm guaranteeing we're going to see some Super Smash Bros, which is going to be great. I can't wait to see some of that. We're also going to see a bit more of the the new Yoshi's Island game, and a bit more of the Captain Toad remake. What I'd also like us to see is some Metroid 4 gameplay. Of course, we got the logo last year. I don't think Metroid 4 will come out until maybe late next year, but it would be great to see some gameplay just so we can understand what kind of game are we getting. Are we going to get the side-scrolling type adventure that we had with the early Super Metroid games, or is it going to be more like Metroid Prime, that first-person type 3D game? Either way, we're pretty excited for it. Now, The other thing that I'd absolutely love to see, but I do think it's quite unlikely, is Pokemon 2019 RPG. That's the core Pokemon game that they've teased for next year. The reason why I think it's unlikely is that Nintendo like to do their own announcements throughout the year through their Nintendo Direct and Treehouse channels. So I do think that's unlikely, especially as they've just revealed Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. So I'm sure they'll show more gameplay of those, but it would be great to see what that core RPG, that new adventure, is going to look like on the Switch next year. Now, as a bonus hardware thing that I'd like to, and actually I think could be quite likely, is the N64 Classic. Now, there's been some rumours of patents and domains being reserved by Nintendo for the N64 Classic, or a piece of hardware like the N64 Classic. Considering that we had the NES a couple of years ago, the SNES last year, I think it's very likely that we're going to see the N64 Classic revealed this year. The big question will be, how many games and what games will we get on it? So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to see a really great announcement from Nintendo this year. Now, those that know me know that I don't own a PlayStation 4. I haven't really seen any games on the PlayStation 4 other than Horizon Zero Dawn. Any games that I couldn't get anywhere else, or any games that I really, really wanted to play. However, with this year's E3, I don't expect to see too much from PlayStation, but there could be a couple of games there that could make me go out and buy a PS4. So the first thing I expect to see, and I'm pretty sure we're going to guarantee to see some Spider-Man, but also expect to see some Death Stranding. That has been something that's been revealed slowly and slowly over the last few years at E3. It's a big project by Hideo Kojima, who used to work at Konami, heading up the Metal Gear Solid franchise. It's fronted by Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. And I think we're going to see a bit more. We're going to get to see maybe a bit of the gameplay from Death Stranding, which hopefully will be coming out next year. Another thing that I want to see, and this is the thing that could make me go and buy a PS4 if they do it right, and that is more details on Final Fantasy VII Remake. Final Fantasy VII is my favourite RPG of all time. I've completed that game maybe 4 or 5 times. And I really, really want to play it again with newer, updated graphics and the voice work that they've been discussing. My one fear about it is the battle system. I didn't like the battle systems of the last few Final Fantasies, especially Final Fantasy 15. I felt it was quite a passive battle system. And I fear that changing that, the reason why I love FF7 so much is the way the battles and the materia and things like that work. To me, was absolutely perfect. So hopefully we're going to see some gameplay of that this year. The other thing that I'd love to see, but I think it's going to be quite unlikely. I say unlikely. I'm about 50-50 where we're going to see it, and that's crossplay. Nintendo and Xbox have been playing very nicely together, as well as obviously Xbox and PC. They're very nicely and allowing crossplay across their platforms. We've seen it first between Nintendo and Xbox through Minecraft and Rocket League. And there's games announced like Fortnite that have said that they're going to have both Xbox and Nintendo cross-play across on that. Now, that's going to leave PlayStation in a place where they're the only console that doesn't play nice with others. So I do think there's a chance they get cross-play, and I would absolutely love them to, because there's a lot of my my friends that have PlayStations, and I play a lot of PES, and things like Fortnite and Overwatch, and it'd be good to involve all of them in my game playing activity. As a bonus hardware, I honestly don't think this will happen this year, but I'd like to see a new handheld PlayStation console. The PS Vita was a really great console. So was a PSP. The PSP was awesome. So I'd like to see PlayStation try and battle Nintendo. Nintendo have proven with the Switch that people still want to be able to take their games on the go. And with Sony's hardware expertise, maybe we could see that. People have said that maybe the PS5 is going to be revealed. I think we're a bit too early for the PS5, but I'd love to see a handheld console from the PlayStation company. Again, I don't think it's going to happen, but you know, fingers crossed. Over the last year or so, EA have taken a big hit in their public perception. Of course, there was a Star Wars Battlefront loot box palaver, but there's also been server issues throughout the year, especially this recent one with the World Cup FIFA Ultimate Team update that gave loads of people lots of free packs and loads of people no free packs, and then some people couldn't get onto the marketplace for ages. So I think EA are going to be pushing forward a lot this year with their games to show that they're still there, still back in business. They're going to be shying away from any kind of microtransaction model, loot boxes, paid content, that kind of thing. We're definitely going to see some Battlefield. What kind of Battlefield we're going to see? There's rumours it's going to be a Battle Royale type game. And we're 100% we're going to see some FIFA 19. Obviously, PES 19 has already been announced for August 30th. I think we're probably going to see FIFA 19 maybe 3 weeks, released 3 weeks after that, kind of mid to late September. They're definitely going to be showing the gameplay and what to expect from this year's one at E3. And expect quite a big hoo-ha around their Champions League rights. So there's going to be some kind of game mode focused on the Champions League. Hopefully they've improved the gameplay. I haven't enjoyed FIFA the last couple of years and have pushed well back onto PES. So I hope they've improved some gameplay and we might see some more Journey Season 3. The other thing that I'd love to see, that I think is quite unlikely, but I think, okay, let me rephrase that. I think it's very likely we're going to see some kind of Star Wars content. And whether that's I think it's more likely to be a licensed film game. But what I'd love to see is, much like the Knights of the Old Republic games of old, I'd love to see a Star Wars RPG based in a time that's not in the films. Maybe Knights of the Old Republic was great because it was 1,000 years before any of the films began. And if you've not played Star Wars and Knights of the Old Republic, the first one, find a way to play it. I mean, you can get it on your phone nowadays, Xbox backwards compatibility, on the PC. I'm sure there's a way to get it on, maybe not on the PlayStation, but find a way to play it. It is one of the best RPGs released. It's got a fantastic story that I won't spoil to you now, and a really good way of creating your own Jedi. Now, I'd really love them to show that. I think it's more likely they're going to go down the licensed film style route. But, you know, again, if we do hear it, then you heard it here first. Now, my final predictions are going to be based around Bethesda. Now, Bethesda are known for releasing the Elder Scrolls, Fallout and Diablo games. And what we expect to see 100% at this year's E3 is more news on Fallout 76. They showed some of it, they teased some of it only about a month or so ago. But we haven't seen any more. We haven't seen any gameplay. We don't know what it's like. Hopefully, it's going to be a single player RPG based, but there are rumours that it's going to have an online survival element. Other than that, we don't know much more, but we're 100% we're going to be seeing some gameplay and what to expect from Fallout 76. The other thing that I'd quite like to see, and I think is quite a likely thing to see, is Diablo for the Switch. I'm not sure if you remember, but about 6 months ago, there was a slight tease from Nintendo of a Diablo-type night plug being switched on. And actually, I don't know whether the tease was Nintendo or Bethesda, one of them anyway. And there was a lot of rumours circling that Diablo is coming to the Switch. Now, Diablo is one of these games you can sink hours and hours into. And although I've got it on the Xbox, I tend not to play my Xbox for that kind of time at the moment. So bring it out on Switch will reinvigorate that for a lot of people. I mean, I bought Skyrim for the Switch when it came out, and I'm still playing it now. I've played further into Skyrim than I did when I originally had it on the Xbox. So Diablo for the Switch makes a lot of sense, and I'd like to see it, and I think we will. The other thing that I'd love to see, I think it's a little bit unlikely at the moment, especially given Somerset's recent release, but I'd love to see the Elder Scrolls, the next solo RPG coming out in the series. The last one was Skyrim, which was released around about 5 or 6 years ago, 2011, so 7 years ago now. But I'd really like to see the next one. They have said they're on the early stages of it. That being said, I don't think we're going to see it this year. I think that's more likely going to be a next year's one. But again, fingers crossed, we'll get to see some Elder Scrolls. And that wraps up my predictions and hopes for E3 this year. Now make sure to subscribe to the channel or follow me whether you're watching this on YouTube or on Twitch, because over the next few days I'm going to be releasing videos that will basically just recap what we've seen at E3. Now, some people, depending on where you are in the world, you may not be up at the right time to be able to see the conferences. Don't worry, because I've got you covered. I'm going to be up and we'll be watching them all bleary-eyed. And then as soon as I can, I'll be releasing a video on YouTube and on Twitch after each one. So you can catch up. All you got to do is search for Gamesfully Nintendo or Gamesfully at Microsoft, followed by E3, depending on which of those 5 companies you want to hear the E3 announcements for. And then I will do a wrap-up one as well for all the other news coming from Ubisoft and Activision and companies similar to those. But that's been it. If you've enjoyed this, please let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think we're going to see at E3, what you hope to see, and if you've watched this after E3, let me know what you liked about it. After E3, let me know what you liked about it. Please make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.